doing good. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing great, great, great. I'm about to go watch Sonic 3. I'm gonna drive out, go to Starbucks right for a little bit, and then watch Sonic 3 and come back. I like Keanu Reeves, who voices Shadow the Hedgehog. I heard he did a good job, which is encouraging, which is nice to know. So I'm looking forward to that. My gosh, early this morning I wrote, and wow, I wrote a great scene, man. I wrote a phenomenal scene. You know, I'm really looking forward to people reading this. I'm tightening things up. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. That's something I'm reminding myself, because as you near the end, you really just want to finish and get it out so you can read it. But I'm like, it's so important that I do this properly, just so that it ages well and I don't look back and I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have rushed it, you know? I don't think it'll be perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, but yeah. I'm just not rushing. I'm just gonna let things take their natural course. You know when you're done, so I'm gonna take my sweet time. And I'm moving at a rate of 1,000 words a day, which is decent. I'm very, very close to the end. As I was building up, I was more rapid. As I was building up, I was a lot more rapid, like 2,000 words here, sometimes 2.5, like it just depended. I think today I'm gonna maybe have like a 1.5 total, which is higher than the average for the past couple of weeks. I've been averaging about 1,000 words a day the past couple of weeks. Maybe less, because some days, you might do 200, 300 words. So that brings down the average. But yeah, I just want people to give it a chance. It's going to be $1, and I think it's going to be a ride. I think it's going to be a very interesting ride. There's a lot going on, but in a good way. It's very structured, but there's a diversity of themes being explored, and there's action, there's romance, there's a good dose of philosophy. There's something that I think will really provide a well-rounded reading experience, and something I was just exploring the concept of in my mind. I think this has always been me, my style of writing, but I want it to be accessible. That's a big word for me, accessible, in the sense that I'm really not trying to make this hard to read. That's not my intention. I think there are a lot of people, a lot of writers who really try their best to come off as erudites, as intellectuals. So they use unnecessarily complicated language that can become distracting when you just want to get to the heart of the story and follow along easily. For me, it's like I'm not interested in that. I want my book to be a page turner, something that just keeps you hooked and you're really interested. That doesn't mean it won't be challenging. I think there may be points at which some people are just like, let me slow down and really try to understand what he's saying here. When characters are having dialogue and exploring some fairly high concepts. might be some moments where people are like, yeah, let me slow it down and just really try and grasp what he's saying here. But for the most part, I just want it to be a book that's just like the page, well, figuratively speaking, the page keeps turning. It's a digital book. It's going to be on Kindle. But you know, so I guess in this case you'd be scrolling. You just keep scrolling. Because it's just so good. That's my goal. And I really do think it's good. I think I'm feeling very confident. Now that I'm wrapping up, I'm like, well, I've got something on my hands. I've got something special, man. Obviously, that'll be up to people to decide ultimately, but that's how I want to take my time, just to tighten it up as much as I can. And I'm not going to take too much time with that. I just want to move on to the next book that I have in mind. Whoa. I'm deliberating, man, on what I should write next. I don't want to say what it is until I commit to it, but I got some ideas. I got some ideas. So we'll see what I end up doing. We'll see. But yeah, with this book, Talk for the Days, man, has been very interesting in terms of how the story is developed. I think people will be like shocked and intrigued and like wow. It's just gonna be like, oh wow. Like when you watch the story unfold, I think people just gonna be like, wow. Very proud. I need people to read it, the whole thing. If I can get people to read the whole thing, that'd be so amazing. However many people, it'd just be amazing to hear people's thoughts and tell me what they thought of the ending and all that sort of stuff. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. So we'll see, man. $1, guys. It's gonna be $1. So when it's out, buy it immediately. $1. Come on now, that's doable. If you have to save, if you have to save to reach $1, you do that. I want as many people to get this as possible. I don't want to hear, oh no, things are tough right now. Save. Put aside 25 cents. Put aside 25 cents. Do that 4 times, you got $1. And then get the book. I really don't want to read this. Anyway. That's just what's consuming me right now, consuming my mind. Last night I started Resident Evil 2. Metro Exodus hasn't been gripping me, so I'm taking a break from it. Maybe I'll get back to it. So I just started Resident Evil 2. And I'm not a big horror person. I typically don't like horror games, but with Resident Evil 2, it's interesting. It's just I like the style of storytelling. I feel like, you know what it feels like? It feels very professional. It feels like the people that wrote the story and directed it know what the hell they're doing. Like some of these other games I've been playing, it just feels like it was written by amateurs. Like Spider-Man 2, the story for that game, and I just felt like, who wrote this? Person's childish, dude. Like, it's just like very basic writing, and it felt like the person that it's some Japanese fellas who wrote Resident Evil 2. It just seems like they're very professional, and the characters are unique. Their dialogue is well written. The voice acting is top tier. You know, it just feels like did this well. So even though I'm not into horror, it's just compelling and I want to know what happens. I'm a big story person. I don't know if you can tell. I'm super into stories. So if a game is a bad story, more often than not, I zone out. It's hard to keep me there if things aren't done properly. There are exceptions sometimes if the gameplay loop is addictive enough. But I usually look for a well-balanced game that has good story, good gameplay, good everything. That's what I like. That's what I look for. Sometimes I'm kind of embarrassed to say that Uncharted 4, I don't know if it's my favorite game, but it's up there. It's top 3 for me. Just because of Naughty Dog's current reputation, sometimes it's a bit embarrassing to say Uncharted 4 is one of my favorites. But I really enjoyed Uncharted 4. I just felt like it was so well done. Everything was just high level with that game. The writing was great. The voice acting was great. The gameplay was great. Graphics were unbelievable. Everything was just phenomenal. Cinematics were phenomenal. Everything was just it's down my alley, man. That's me. A game like Arkham City. I really like Arkham City. Arkham Knights, which is the sequel to Arkham City, had so much potential. It was still good, but I just feel like they dropped the ball. Maybe it was rushed. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened. That caused it to go down that route. I need to study that, because I never want to fall victim to that. As someone who's about to finish his first novel, and at some point I do want to write a series, I need to study why series fail. Why is it that sometimes the first one is the best one, or the second one is the best one, but then the third one is trash, or something like that? Why does it happen so often? I think it's poor planning. I think with Lord of the Rings, the movie trilogy, they were made like simultaneously, which is why they maintain a consistent quality. So I think a lot of it boils down to just bad planning, not knowing what the hell you're doing and where you're going. George Martin, who wrote the Game of Thrones series, Song of Ice and Fire, he is still writing the last book of that series, and people have been waiting on it for, it seems like decades now. It's like 2 decades. That's what it feels like. It's been a long time. I don't know if it's been that long exactly, but it's been long. It's been long. People are getting frustrated. People have been frustrated. What? And yeah, he just doesn't know what to do. I think he just didn't plan properly. So I want to avoid that. So that's why I'm hesitant to do book series. But I don't know if I'm ready to write a big, robust series. Because I think a lot of planning goes into that. And you have to get it right, man. You have to get it so right. I refuse to be one of these people that has some series that's good at the beginning, but it just gradually gets worse. No. I want to maintain consistent quality. Each book in the series must be top level. In fact, it must progress, it must get better. It must elevate. It shouldn't get worse, it should get better. I never studied that. I just don't want to fall into that. I hate that. But I think it's very easy to fall into. I think it's very, very easy to fall for those traps. That's why for me, if I'm planning a series, I want to write a book series, I need to know how the series ends. I need to. I don't want to get started if I don't know how it ends, because I need to know what I'm working towards. What's the end goal? I feel like George Martin, he he didn't know where he was going. That's the only explanation for this. Because people are saying he wrote himself into a corner. Because now there's certain characters that are dead that weren't supposed to be dead, and now that they're dead, it complicates this and that. And like, there's nowhere to go from here, yada yada yada. And he's just stuck because he wrote himself into a dead end. That doesn't happen when you have a roadmap, when you have a North Star that's guiding you, when you have an ending, when you know that this is where I'm going, this is the destination. One of the reasons why this draft of my novel has been successful is that I had a clear ending in mind. I knew, okay, this is how the story's gonna end. I knew where I was going. I knew that it's gonna end at this location. It's gonna these are the events that are gonna take place, generally speaking, and everything else, you know, I've been coming up with as I've been going along, but it's kind of like filling in. It's a coloring within the lines. Like the structure is already there. I'm just coloring in the gaps. It's not like I'm drawing and coloring at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Or building the tracks as the train is moving. No, the tracks have been built. Now it's just about getting the train along. If that makes sense. But yeah, there's a big... So, I do have a plan for my career in terms of writing, because there's a particular series I've always wanted to write since high school. I conceptualized this in high school, but I just feel like I'm not ready for it. I've tried to write it, and it never works out. I just feel like it's too big for me right now. I need to build some experience. I need to get better. Because it's gonna have a lot of volumes. You know, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3 novels. It's gonna have a lot of novels in the series. I think like 7, 8 books. And it's gonna be an expansive universe. It's a sci-fi story, but yeah, my own take on it. My own take on a Star Wars type thing, but yeah, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. But I just feel like I don't want to rush that. I want to give that my best attempt, because I think if I do that right, it's going to be mind-blowing. And I want it to be entertaining. I prefer Star Wars over Dune. I feel like Dune takes itself so seriously, and it lacks that charm and sense of adventure that Star Wars has. Star Wars gets dark, but it's really entertaining and it's really easy to get into, but it's really, really deep. And you want to learn about the universe. It's really deep. Like, there's a lot of details to the worlds, to the characters, to the lore. Like, you can get really, really into it. With Dune, I feel like Dune does have that, but it's like so boring, bro. It feels like you're reading like an encyclopedia or something. Star Wars makes it entertaining. You want to learn about the Sith. You want to learn about the Jedi and their history and all these sort of things. Dune, I feel like it takes itself so seriously. There's a darker tone and more self-serious tone. Which makes it hard to follow along with. So mine would be more similar to a Star Wars. I think it would be like somewhere between Star Wars and Dune. somewhere between here. I want to read Dune though. I haven't read the novel. I just watched the movie, but I knew about the books well before the movie came out. Since high school, I've been wanting to read Dune. I just never got around to it. I want to read Dune. I want to read the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov, just to see what I can learn from these things, even if I don't enjoy them, which I suspect I might not, just because, I don't know, maybe I'm too stupid or something. It just seems so slow and lacking charm. But maybe I just need to get good, as the gamers say, get good. Upgrade my intellect. I don't know, but I'll try to read them anyway and see what I can learn. That's what I did when I was writing this pirate novel. I read a bunch of pirate books, and yeah, some of them were okay, but I muscled through them anyway. I finished reading them anyway just because I did learn a lot. I just feel like with some of these books, sometimes what I see is that there's a lot of exposition. There's a lot of unnecessary details as well. A lot of explaining things and a lot of just unnecessary details. The mechanics of the ship, how to use gunpowder, how to prepare a gunpowder, how to prime your gun, the history of an island, the geography of an island, the process of sailing a ship. But that's a big thing for me. So one thing I noticed is that when they're detailing, for example, how pirates are operating a ship, they get really into the details on these books. How they're working the rigging, pulling the ropes that operate the sails and whatnot, which masts are like this, the main mast, and this one, the foremast, and so on and so forth. A whole lot of details that you're like, the reader doesn't need to know all of this. There's some of this that you could easily leave out and it wouldn't change anything. Because they're not trying to become experts on boating, you know? They're not trying to become experts on pirates. They're trying to read a pirate adventure story. They want the action, the romance, the swashbuckling shenanigans. That's what they're here for. All this other stuff, you can put a bit of it in just for authenticity's sake, but just have the vibe. But when you get too into it, you start to distract people. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I want to show that I've done at least some research, and this is a pirate novel, but at the same time, I want people to follow along easily and not get distracted by nonsense. That doesn't matter. Unless you're like super into boats, which is a minority of people. I'm not writing this novel for boat enthusiasts. I'm writing this novel for people who just want a good pirate-themed story that still addresses the eternal themes of love, heroism, courage, so on and so forth. These sort of things. And I think I'll be successful at that. But yeah, that sci-fi series is somewhere in my future. I think I'll know when I'm ready. I want to get really comfortable as a writer, just in my abilities, and just I want to like get some skin in the game and like get really good, and then I'll be like, okay, it's time to drop this bomb on them. I think it'd be crazy, man. But I want to give you, until we get there, I want to give you crazy experiences. I still want to give you crazy experiences. I still want to give you really good experiences. I think that one would just be like, what the fuck? It would be amazing. Like, shit. I want everything I do to be next level. We're going to progress. It's going to get even more next level. So stick around for the journey, man. Stick around for the journey. Anyway, you might have to pray again for yourself. Dear Father God, I thank you for this individual watching this right now. Thank you for making them all unique. And guiding them both towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you for blessing this person with wonderful, beautiful life. We love them, take care of them, and bring the absolute best out of them. Thank you for maintaining them every day to do the same thing. Thank you for blessing this person with love and marriage to sustain that love and marriage and make you very, very happy. Thank you for blessing this person with a spirit of gratitude so they can give thanks for all the wonderful things in life. And by giving thanks, they can find peace, contentment, and attract even more blessings. Let your blessings be felt in this person's lifestyle. Let your power, that you real, that you love them. Good health,